everybody, Jen here, Positive Plus Dog Training. Today I am here to talk about environmental enrichment, and in particular using toys and maybe some household items or recyclables to make some DIY stuff as well. So one of the, I have a whole collection here, so I'll show you some actual purchased toys. So I like to have a combination of things that I can set up and work with my dog, and then things that are really simple that I can just pour some of my dog's kibble for breakfast or dinner into, and then just kind of walk away. So first thing that I'm going to mention is with environmental enrichment toys, so interactive toys, with when you're introducing a new toy, it is important to spend a little bit of time observing your dog and assisting them if they need that. So rather than putting down a toy, and so like one of my favorites and easiest is the Kong Wobbler. So this is a really good one if you're looking to supplement some toys, some game setups, and you want something that's just going to be able to go really, really quick, just like throwing food in a dish kind of thing. Then the Kong Wobbler is a great one. So it just twists open. You fill in the kibble. There's still a couple there from before that my dogs didn't get, but you can just kind of scoop up your kibble or pour in whatever your dog's allowed. You can actually fit a full meal in here for a large dog. I can fit about 2 cups of kibble in here easily. You want a little bit of give, a little bit of wiggle room so that the kibbles will move. But basically, once you scoop up your kibble in there, you're going to screw on the base. And this is a weighted bottom, so it's just filled with sand, if you can hear that. And then when you put it down, your dog is going to nose it, paw it, and it's going to wobble all over the place. So that's a really good one. Xavier, one of Xavier's favorites. He says, "Is this for me?" All right, back up and sit. Sit, and then you can have it. Good boy. There you go. So I've given that to Xavier. He's going to work on those last 2 kibbles. So that's a really cool one. But even with the Kong Wobbler, you will notice that many dogs will go over, and if they can't quite figure out, they don't really understand that they're supposed to nose it or paw it just yet because it's a new idea for them, then basically what's going to happen is you're probably going to have a dog that's just going to grab it and chew it. So we want to be careful that when we introduce toys, that if our dogs don't quite understand yet, we can help them out. We can wobble it for our dog, so you can take your hand and you can paw it with your hand so that your dog can see the kibbles coming out. And then what you want to do is the first moment that they actually touch it with their nose or their paw, you're going to say, "Yes, what a good job," and you'll either drop a bonus kibble or just interact with them. That's sometimes just as good. But to let them know that they made the right choice to paw or nose it. Because a general rule is that once a dog knows how to interact appropriately with a toy without tearing it apart or without chewing it apart, then they automatically enjoy the game so much. So a few other toys that we have that are pretty simple that you can get. This is a food ball. So it has one hole in it. This one's really cool in that if you look right inside, there's kind of like a maze. Hard to see, but there's kind of like a maze inside. And so when you fill the kibble up, it falls all into the different parts of the maze, and then this has got to roll around. And your dog's going to nose it and paw it. So this one's a little bit simpler, less training involved, because even if they do pick it up to chew it, then they will notice that picking it up provides them with the food falling out. And so they can easily get the idea with something like this because it's not going to crack and break. So that's a really good one if you have a dog that likes to chew. And this is a Canine Genius product. They have quite a few ideas. This is a Kong one. And so some of these actually fit together. So it's really cool if you look up the Canine Genius. Xavier's wondering why I'm playing with all his toys. The Canine Genius and Kong have a few toys that are similar to this that can actually fit together. So as you'll see, there's a cross, and your dog can chew it. It's a flexible rubber, so they can chew it. Also, another good one, if they like to chew, then I would stick to things like this to start, especially if you don't have a lot of experience training a dog to play a game, then this is a good one, because then they can chew it all they want. They're not going to crack it or break it, and inevitably they will figure out how the game works. They can also chew here to open the star a little bit more. And the same thing goes for the Canine Genius one. This one, you can actually get ones that fit together to make the game more challenging. And that's why these are wonderful, because you can buy them one piece at a time, and then you can make something a little bit more elaborate out of it. But this also has that X or cross that when they chew gets bigger. And then also this is another nice one that you can just pour your kibble into and then provide it to your dog. So instead of giving them a dish, if you don't want to set up an elaborate game, or you don't even want to put together a food puzzle, no problem, those are easy ones. Of course, this is Planet Dog, so this is very similar to a Kong. Basically the same thing, but it's a little bit of a softer rubber, bouncier rubber. So you might find your dog likes to bounce this one a bit more than a Kong, but same idea. And this one I do actually like too, because I can very easily just fill it with kibble in a pinch. And while it's not the most challenging toy for my dogs, at the same time, it's still better than eating straight out of a dish, and they will appreciate it better than eating straight out of a dish. And by the way, it's great news if your dog would rather eat out of a toy or would rather eat with a game of Find It instead of eating out of a dish. That's wonderful news. That means that they feel happy and satisfied when they eat that way, which makes a lot of sense. Dogs are designed to scavenge. That's what they do. So it's very natural for them to scavenge, and it's also a huge emotional booster, creates really happy hormones in the brain, so we might as well use it to our advantage. So those are some of the easier ones. We can get a little bit more complicated when you're talking about ordering toys. These are wooden toys that I have here. These ones are food treated wooden toys. Okay, this I did get on Amazon as well. And I have another one. The Pet IQ training toys. So this is a really good one as well. These are made out of wood, so these are the ones that you're going to want to be careful with, especially if you have a chewer or any dog really, because it's important that they learn how to play it properly. So with this one, there's 2 different types of pieces, which makes it really interesting for me, because I like when I'm going to buy a puzzle, so this would be more of a puzzle. If I'm going to buy a puzzle, I want to make sure it's something that I can increase the level of difficulty so that I have something to work with, that it's not going to get super simple for my dog in about 5 minutes, and then they're not as interested. But this one's really nice because these slide around. So at first, I'm just going to put the food in the holes, and then all my dog needs to do is nose these pieces around, which is going to be super simple. As soon as they go to sniff for the food, then the pieces will move. So there's not a heck of a lot of challenge, but there is some challenge. They have to move their nose, push the pieces with their nose. To increase the level of difficulty, I have these pieces. They can go right on the top. These pieces have to be actually picked up without being chewed. That's the key. That's the harder part for mom and dad. Or, so let's go on the top. I can also place them in between so that in order to slide the pieces conveniently, they have to pick up a piece to slide it. So I can use all of these in here so that in order for them to get to these ones, they definitely have to pick these ones up. I can easily also find something that's similar size and shape and put that in as well. So adding more blockers. Okay, so I can use these on the top, and then I can add my own blockers, which I can easily make out of paper towel rolls, no problem. So that way I can increase the level of difficulty. And similarly, the same product line is another wooden toy, whoops, another wooden toy where I have pieces. So if I have both, I can also use these in both toys to make things difficult. But originally, I take these pieces out, and my dog can nose these pieces around, nose these pieces around, or I plop this in, and before they can nose it around, they have to remove this one. Likewise down here, I can put these in here, and before they can move it around, they have to pick it up here. So these are great wooden toys that you can get. If you're really creative, you can probably make those at home also. A little bit extra element of challenge. So again, another Planet Dog item. This one is kind of like the food ball. Another easy one, I can pour some kibble in, no big deal, maybe a piece of liver or two, or a bigger cookie, and then I pop it in. And if it's a bigger cookie, then my dog's got to squish it and crunch it to break apart that bigger cookie before it'll fall out. Otherwise, if I just put in kibble, it kind of gets trapped in the sphere, and my dog has to nose it around. See how much my dogs love their toys? Even with no food in it now, they're so excited by it. All right. Oh, and I wanted to show you one more puzzle also. This is a really, really cool one. This is from Outward Hound. This is one of my favorite companies, actually. They have a decent selection. If you want to look up that close, there's a few of these. So I actually do have all of these, but I have moved 2 of them to our new training facility. So right now, the one that we have left that we've been using is called the Dog Brick. So this is the Dog Brick. And this one, what your dogs have to do is nose these up and take these out of the way. Again, you can increase the level of difficulty depending on how you use it. Okay. So that's those ones. I really wanted to spend a little bit of time also with some DIY ideas. A really, really simple DIY idea is the tennis balls in the muffin pan. So get yourself either an old muffin pan, maybe you're in the middle of doing some spring cleaning and you have a muffin pan, or maybe you don't mind sharing your muffin pan with your dog if they're not going to scratch too much. You can put tennis balls, so fill in the holes of the tennis ball with kibble. So spread out your kibble and place tennis balls on top, and your dog has to remove the tennis balls to get into the kibble. You can even get even more creative, and you can drill a little hole in the tennis ball and make your own food ball. And then you have a food ball, maybe you put a piece of liver under the food ball. And so they pick up the ball, they get to eat their kibble, and they also get a piece of liver. Little idea. So, and then toilet paper rolls, save your toilet paper rolls and your paper towel rolls and your wrapping paper rolls. So with a toilet paper roll, we can either kind of mimic this one here where you, in your dish, so your dog's feeding dish, you fill it with a whole bunch of paper towel rolls and then pour the kibble on top. That's a really fun one. I've also had clients put tennis balls inside the food bowl. That's another idea as well. So they have to eat around the tennis balls or remove the tennis balls to eat them. Now with your toilet paper roll or paper towel roll, you fold in the bottom. So just like you're wrapping a present, fold in the bottom. So you close it up. And then you pour in your kibble, maybe a piece of liver or two, and you fold in the bottom. If this were a paper towel roll, so a little bit bigger, or even with this one too, I can put some holes in the sides if I wish. And there I go, a little easy toy. It won't last very long, but it doesn't really matter because it's just a toilet paper roll. So this is a great one. All right, other homemade with my recycles, I've done something very similar with a yogurt container. So yogurt containers, margarine containers. I have my little collection over here of recycles that I'm going to use. So an even bigger one for my Rottweiler, the coffee container. and you can make holes in that as well and feed a rope through it, a knotted rope, so your dog gets to move it. I also added a little element of difficulty by putting in oops, kind of like a cotton ball, and you can make it interesting like that. And then I put the kibble in. These don't last as long, but that's okay because you're using your recyclings. So with the recycling, anything plastic recycling, I do suggest, as much as they are a lot of fun and you can definitely enjoy making these with your kids, do watch your dog. As soon as they start to split apart, take it away and throw it out and make a new one. So that's a little bit of DIY. The other thing that you can do, what I really like to do, especially if it's a rainy day and I'm not going to get out for my walk, or I'm going to have a shorter walk, more like it. Xavier doesn't let me not get out for a walk, but we're going to have a shorter walk. Then we will play Find It. So that's where your dog has to sniff out their food up and down the stairs. That's a really cool one for burning physical energy, brain energy, but you can, again, if you're recycles, keep little, my kids eat applesauce, so little applesauce cups, we've used those as well. You can poke a hole in the bottom if you need to, and put the kibble on underneath, so your dog has to now flip this over. You can play that in a room, so you're hiding the kibble all over the room, little piles of kibble, and they just have to flip it up to get it instead of just eating the pile. If you feed raw, then you can use these kinds of containers. You're not going to flip them upside down, but you can use these kinds of containers just to split up the raw food and put smaller portions around a room so they have to sniff out each portion instead of eating out of one dish. So that's a really good idea for raw. Keeping that same kind of idea, these I got from Dollarama. So they're just mini strainers, but this already has the hole for me, and I can put my piles of kibble under here. Or if I had raw and an easy to clean floor, I might put my raw food in here and put this on top. So now my dog has to flip it open to get to the food underneath. So those are really cool ideas. And I'm just going to show you a few more. And I'm going to end with a really cool puppy tip. So this is a really cool, and this I have already brought to the new training facility, but this is one of Pepper's favorites, which is why I brought it to the training facility. She has a lot more room there to play with it. But this one, here's a better picture. So it kind of looks like this, and there's little flaps on each end. And it comes with one ball, but I have actually made my own tennis ball. Food balls where I've drilled the holes in. I'll show you that when we get to the training facility. And so what Pepper has to do is she has to get the ball out of one of the sides, and then the ball itself is a food ball where she's got to now roll it. So similar idea to drilling the hole in the tennis ball and then putting it in the muffin tin. So that's a way you can start. This adds a little element of challenge because it's actually trapped in the unit, so it's not quite as easy as a muffin tin, but start with the muffin tin and then graduate. If your dog loves that idea, graduate to this one. So this is the cross slider. All right, so give that one. It's from Dog Games. That's a really good one. Oh, and on that note, if you use tennis balls with or without the hole for food, if your dog's really into tennis balls and you don't need the food necessarily, but you can take a nice big blanket or towel. Blankets are a little bit better because you can get a nice big one, and you're going to hide all the tennis balls inside of the blanket, inside of the ball of blanket. And I know Pepper loves that game because she can sift out all the tennis balls. And then if I use the tennis balls that have been drilled to function as a food ball, now she's sifting them out and then she gets to eat her meal as well. So just an idea. Or you can even just, for a new pup, one of our tips for either reintroducing a kennel to a dog, so a crate to a dog, for if they've had some difficulty in the past, or maybe introducing it for the first time as a pup that's a little bit resistant to relax when the door closes. Start with some fun games. If you put a towel in there and hide the your pup's breakfast inside the towel. They've got to sift through the towel to get it. They're going to burn some brain energy, play a really good game of Find It, and have a blast. Eating this way with environmental enrichment and an interactive game or toy is super amazing for your dog. It really does create really healthy brain chemistry for a balanced dog mentally. It helps them to be able to relax and sleep. I'll just give you a little bit of a idea of what that looks like after your dogs have been eating out of some food toys or puzzles. So that's a fun one. But yeah, so oh, well, and also this is a really cool one. You can make this yourself at home. I happened to luck out and I actually got this secondhand, but it's on a stand, and this one comes with different tops that I can use depending on my kibble or level of difficulty I would like to do. And they just do this. So your dog's gonna paw and nose it to make it turn, and the kibbles will fall out. So that's a cool one. You can actually make yourself one of these too. If you look it up, you'll find some. So that's a good one. This is Dog Activity is the brand. If you want to look for this one on Amazon. And then my last little tip for puppies and teething. So puppies that are teething, we want to have a lot of fun with our pups, but we also don't want to get chewed up. So puppies and interactive toys, absolutely have a blast. Have some fun and do that. However, we also need to provide them with just stuff that they can chew and lick and soothe, because their gums are sore. Let's face it, they are teething. And that's one of the reasons why they bite on us so hard. So proactively, we can provide our dogs lots of chew toys. These are some of my favorites. The Kong is a wonderful one because you're going to put some sticky stuff around the rim of the Kong. I have a video on making a Kong and how to set it up and how to get started. So the Kong is a wonderful one, and that can also be put in the freezer with a little bit of sticky stuff inside to create that perfect frozen teether. But what I also really like to do is use bones or items that look like this that have ridges on them, and then doesn't have to be complicated. We're just gonna put some canned pumpkin, sugar-free canned pumpkin or sugar-free applesauce even. I make my own applesauce, just pop an apple with some water in a blender or some other fruit too sometimes. Or yogurt, anything like that. Canned food, if your dog's on canned food, you're just gonna fill the groove. So just take a knife and scrape it all in. And then you can wrap it in some saran wrap or tin foil, or just place it in a container that you're comfortable putting in the freezer and put them in the freezer. You can put it in for 20 minutes to start, or work your way up so that it's easy for your pup to just soothe themselves to sleep. So they're soothing any pain they have in their gums, and also burning up the oral chewing need that all puppies have. They're puppies, that's what they do. So the more that we can provide them with these kinds of things that taste good and appropriate, so we want this to taste better than the legs of your furniture, the legs of your pants. We want this to taste better. So that's why we fill it and freeze it. Plus, we know on a biological level when our dogs are digesting food and licking that it actually does soothe the mind and create calm. So why not? So these are some of my ideas on how to create a healthy environmental enrichment program for your dog at home, whether you want to go out shopping, order online, or whether you just want to use up your recycles and feel good about it. There's lots of ideas. So have fun with your dog, and remember that this is what you'll have. Relaxed, happy dogs. And all we've done so far for the day is one nice walk. And we ate out of food toys. We ate interactively. And we are calm, we are soothed. And in the afternoon, we will do it again. So that's it for today. Have fun making toys for your dog. Have fun looking for things online. Play around. And let me know if you have questions. Let us know if you have questions. Again, Jen from Positive Plus Dog Training. Jen from Positive Plus Dog Training. Have fun and let us know. Bye for now. And don't forget, oh, one more thing. If you want to send us a video of your pup enjoying a do-it-yourself toy or interactive game or one that you've purchased, please do send it to us. We love to share these things so that other people can see how your pup is enjoying these toys and how it works for you. So please do send us in your videos and let us know that we can post them, and we'll share them. Let's have some fun. Okay, bye for now. Jen, Positive Plus Dog Training.